the faithful saying who we want to be. And
Well, I don't know if we deserve it, but we certainly get it. We certainly get it.
for
So,
following
have we
Jesus.
explained what this picture is, though, to people? I mean, you and I know what it is, but we'd probably have to explain in more detail what it is for people who are
Please,
looking
Joe,
to.
go ahead.
So, this is a graffiti making fun of Alexamenos. It's Roman graffiti making fun of Alexamenos, worshipping his god. And for some reason, they've put Alexamenos in front of a cross, and on the cross they have a donkey-headed Jesus on the cross instead. Now, of course, this is people making fun of Alexamenos, who was some kind of early, what would we say, an early Christian, or I would like to say a Judeo-Christian or a Messianic Noahide or a Messianic Hebrew, to understand it in more depth in the broader, through the broader lens of Judaism plus Christian faith. We understand it more broadly, that he's making fun of this Alexamenos, who there you see also is wearing a kippah. Can you see he's got a little kippah on the back of his head?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see it now. Never saw that before. Wow.
So he's got a kippah on the back of his head. So he's some kind of Judeo-Christian, and he's worshipping. That person who's making fun of him is making fun of him worshipping Jesus on the cross, but Jesus got a donkey head. Now, why is this the case? Because Jesus of Nazareth didn't come for. He says many times he didn't come for those who are well. He came for those who are sick. People who are well don't need a doctor. It's the sick who need a doctor. And he said he came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. So in Judaism, this is the thing which I suppose took a while for it takes a while for everybody to get when they start to approach Judaism. Because people think about religion as being practices of people who believe in that do that. But Judaism is very different. It's not like that. We have a two-tier system in Judaism. Judaism as practiced by something called the Kehel, and Judaism for everybody else in the world, which is Noahism or Noahide Judaism. And so Jesus of Nazareth is understood in Judaism as definitely not coming for the Kehel. He didn't come for the Kehel. He never said that in the New Testament himself. He said he came for the lost sheep. And so he came for the rest of the Edah. He didn't come from the Kehel, and he didn't teach Kehel Judaism. So this is the first thing which people learn. And so the Judaism which Jesus was promoting is Noahide Judaism for the nations, Messianic Noahide Judaism. And the symbol of those nations is the donkey. Why is the donkey the symbol? Because the donkey in Judaism is the only, we can say, non-kosher animal which is holy enough to be redeemed. That's a very important sentence. The only non-kosher creature holy enough to be redeemed. And so it refers, in the animals, of course, have a reference. You know, the lambs are the flock, God's people. They are the lambs, they are the sheep, they are the kosher animals. But that doesn't mean that all the other animals on the planet, all the other creatures, are excluded from the invitation of Judaism to salvation, to holiness. And the donkey is the symbol of all the other nations. And now that's been taken in a negative way. Of course, I suppose here the person who's making fun of Alexamenos is a Roman, and maybe in Roman culture the donkey was not highly respected. They preferred horses. But in Judaic culture, the donkey was highly respected. Horses were not preferred because horses are not holy enough to be redeemed. But donkeys are. And in fact, the Hebrew people are a donkey people. You've got, basically, what that means is, if you think about pastoral nomads, they might be equestrian nomads, like the Turco-Mongol people of Central Asia. They were equestrian nomads. Or they might be camel herders, which is more commonly associated with, for example, the rest of the Arabs. But the donkey is also extremely useful in desert locations. And the early Hebrews were donkey people, actually. They herded flocks, but they were donkey people. That was their major beast of burden, was the donkey. So the donkey has not got a negative view in Hebrew culture. Only as a result of Roman influence on the Hebrew culture, it gets a negative view. But really, the donkey is a friendly creature, a loyal creature. It's got a very a clear sense of danger. It can identify where something is dangerous, and it's not stubborn. It actually has a very strong sense of self-preservation. So they say, why can't you, when you're pulling a donkey along and it suddenly stops and it won't go forward anymore? In Hebrew culture, we understand that that's because the donkey knows that there's some danger ahead. It's got a very heightened sense of self-preservation. And so you should listen to the donkey, because the donkey's going to tell you where the dangers are. And this is even repeated in the story of Balaam and the donkey. Remember when Balaam is trying to kick the donkey along and the donkey is stopping because the donkey can see the angel of the Lord. Balaam can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the way we understand the donkeys. Donkeys aren't stubborn. They're very, very clever with regards to preserving life. They know how to preserve a life. They'll also take the shortest distance between two locations. They know instinctively how to get somewhere the shortest distance. It's almost like a telepathy that they know how to take the shortest distance. So the donkey will always take you where you need to go in the shortest possible route. So it's quite interesting that here poor old Alexamenos is being mocked because of his donkey belief. Yes, and they've sort of put that onto Jesus because they don't understand his faith. They don't understand it. They just think that he's some kind of weird donkey believer, and that's all they get.
Very good. Next slide. So Edom has corrupted this, and
Mm.
the term my father used to call me when I was naughty or whatever. Ein dummer Esel, a dumbass,
Mm.
and so Donkey Island and Pinocchio is
Mhm.
explicit with this. Pinocchio lying and you get caught up in vices. Jiminy Cricket, let your conscience be your guide. I mean, sure, this is the problem. Even into Edom, we've always treasured morality, but we've not treasured the Torah. This is the issue because the Torah gives us an integral package. So we've created ethics in the West. So, but look at how Satan has inverted this animal that really explains who we are in our relationship to the revelation at Mount Sinai. And
Mhm.
here we are. Now, one of my favorite stories is this: the four Bremer Stadtmusikanten, the dog who's on the donkey's back, and then the cat on his back, and then the rooster. I always looked at this funny as it's a grim fairy tale, and I always enjoyed it listening to it as a child. My mother would read it in German, and when in 1984, when I was first a missionary conviction, it was my first year, of the first 3 months, I'm still working as a tool maker in the machine room on the ship. And because I could speak German, we came into the port of Bremen and they rolled out the red carpet for us as a ship. We're 300 people from 40 different nations to share Jesus over Christmas. So I did two things I vividly remember in Bremen. I was able to preach in a church. I wasn't even ordained, and it was called the Hohentorengemeinde. And then also I met other people there. There's a lot that I could talk about this, but I also had first encounter with the Muslim immigrants, the Turkish people in Bremen. So we were going to do a program on the ship to reach out to them, and I was going to sing a little song, German kind of song that was Christmas. You probably know the melody, but I wanted to change the words to from Kinderlein to Turkerlein to Turk, oh Turkerlein, come doch. So
Mhm.
I mean, but I don't think that didn't go over so well. But anyway, I wasn't going to sing that. So, but I just did a Christmas program and I sang some hymns. We were having a cultural interchange,
Mhm.
and because they accepted it from someone coming from the nations, and I always remember that vividly. So, but this story brings the donkey into a better light, and that's who we should be. You have the crow up there. I think that signifies, on all German evangelical churches, they have this
Mm.
crow on top. The dawn of the
Calling.
Reformation, they say, but I
Mhm.
think it also has a lot to do with the Peter Hamor. I mean, so
Mhm.
many of these things that are embedded, but they've been distorted. But, like I say, the Holy Spirit is in the
It's quite
details.
interesting. The cockerel here,
Mm,
rooster crowing. This is sort of associated with redemption. In
mhm.
this, I can actually interpret this statue here.
Yeah, go
This is
for it.
interpreted as redemption because we use the tradition of the rooster in Yom Kippur and chicken soup and health and well-being, things like that. The cat symbolizes Egypt, who is allowed to be brought into the Kehillah after 3 generations. The
Mm.
dog symbolizes Caleb, which is Edom,
Yeah.
who's also allowed to be brought into the Kehillah after 3 generations. And the donkey symbolizes Ishmael, which is the Gerim, who are instantly brought into the Kehillah. So they're all sort of there as the sort of the redemption of the three kinds of non-Jew, if you like. It's quite interesting.
There it is.
I wonder if somebody knew that when they made that.
Well, the Brothers Grimm, I don't know. There were some very brutal, like fairy tales that came out of this in Belgium with wolves and things. And I think George Orwell, obviously, he was tuned into some of these things out of the European
Mm.
psyche. But anyway, it's something
Maybe
we'll
Carl
have.
Gustav Jung. Sorry, I was just
Yeah.
saying. Maybe Carl Gustav Jung would interpret as something deep in the psyche, deep in the subconscious, the collective unconscious, the symbol of some kind of symbols which are relevant for non-Jewish believers in the Bible. Maybe he would have interpreted it that way. Although, of course, he was obviously ignorant of this topic. Otherwise, it might have interested him otherwise.
Oh, very good. Thank you. Next one. So just click through.